is Lakiza Fowler, and I'm the sister of Larry Jackson. He was killed by an Austin police officer last year in Austin, Texas. My brother, he was preparing to take his children back to Mississippi. They come and spend every summer with him. And that particular day, it was a Friday, and he said to me and my mom that he would be back within an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And he left and went to the bank. That bank that he had gone to had been robbed that morning at 8 o'clock. The detective that was in the bank came outside and questioned my brother. And so my brother, he took off running, and the cop commandeered a civilian car and chased him down, ran him under a bridge, and there he proceeded to beat him, pistol whip him, and then executed him. He shot him once in the back of the neck. And according to the autopsy, the gun print, the muzzle of the print of the muzzle was on my brother's neck. He also had a torn colon, and he had broken ribs and multiple other injuries. So, and right now, May 12th of this year, the detective was indicted on on a manslaughter charge. And then right now we're just waiting to get a trial date. I'm here. I also have some petitions that I'm trying to get signed because we want him to go to trial, spend time in jail. We don't want him to plea bargain out. So that's where our fight is at this point in time.
So he's been indicted. Is he being held in jail, or
No.
He's just waiting for?
No,
okay.
He is out. He was allowed to go turn himself in. They took his fingerprints and his mugshot, and he was allowed to come right back out. And I believe his bail was only $10,000. Yeah. So yeah. So he was able to come right back out.
Okay.
Yep.
Why did you come here?
I came here. I was invited by the ISO branch of Austin, and they felt like my brother's case would give a little bit of hope to the other families that are fighting the same fight that we're fighting, because a lot of these cops are not held accountable. Although we're still in the fight for this guy to be held accountable, we feel like the indictment is the first step in that process.
Yeah.
And hopefully that indictment won't get thrown out.
Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing your brother's story and sharing.
Absolutely. Thank you for allowing me to share it.
Yeah.
So we're here today with the mother of Alan Blueford. For those of you who don't know, Alan Blueford was an 18-year-old black boy growing up in Oakland, California, and he was about to graduate Skyline High School. And then Saturday, May 6th, Alan and his two friends were waiting for some girls to pick him up on 90th Avenue in East Oakland. And they were going to hang out with their friends. And after Alan phoned his parents to check in, a car slowly pulled up with its lights off, and it turned out to be the Oakland Police Department. Alan ran because they had not arrested him nor charged either of any of his friends with him. They were simply handling him and physically detaining them. So therefore he was not resisting arrest. But after he decided to walk away from the scene, which was totally his right to do, the Oakland Police Department officer Miguel Meso, started running after him. A few blocks later, Alan was shot and killed by Meso. The media claimed that he had gotten in some gun altercation, but it was clear, given the autopsy, that Alan Blueford had not resisted, had simply ran away, which was in his legal right, and that Officer Miguel Meso had shot him in his arms when he was lifting his arms up to show that he had nothing to hide. And so here we are today. Alan Blueford has started, like many other victims of police brutality, has triggered a lot of black and brown people and white people to come together to surround the genocide of black young boys and girls that we have today in this post-racial democracy, this illusion of this post-racial democracy. So we're here with the mother, and who could tell the story best of Alan Blueford, and to really resonate with the struggles of all the mothers who are losing children across the United States to this police terror right now. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for having us and sharing Alan's story. I mean, we have to keep the story going. I mean, unfortunately, it's everywhere in our country, and there's too many Allens and too many mothers that are whipping and losing their kids, and we just want to put a stop to this. We want to unite together and fight against this capitalist system and end racial profiling and police brutality and end police terror. Because that's what it is.
Right.
It just, it's a lot. So thank you for having us.
And you've built, in order to carry out your mission to end police terror, you've built a cultural center, a community center in Oakland. That's for the Justice for Alan Blueford Center.
Yes, it's called the Alan Blueford Center for Justice at 2434 Telegraph Avenue, and I am the co-executive director. We have it's a place where you can come and help heal the community, because the community of Oakland is broken. There is a lot of, broken hope there. And together we want to make change. We want Alan's name to live on through change. So we're there for the youth, for the community, for the mothers. What we know is we can't have Alan back physically, but through his important things that counted to him, like the Little League sports and education and healthcare awareness. Those are things that were important to him, and that's what we do to try to integrate hope in the community, is make it better for the community, or make it a place where youth can come and share their artistic gifts and just feel free. We've had, in honor of his birthday last year, we did a toy drive for one of the dearest charities in Oakland, and she feeds the homeless and houses the homeless. It's the Mother Right Foundation. So we were able to donate, canned foods and toys to that, and we want to keep hope alive in Oakland through Alan's causes, and just to help heal and let these youth know that they have hope and you can make it. Because nowadays the schools are closing, they're broke, and they're saying, why don't you go to junior college?
Right.
Not strive to be the best, to go to a 4-year university, because then they can't keep their thumb over them.
Right.
They can be independent enough to have a say themselves.
Right.
So, that's our mission.
So now, I think many times when people fall victim to this genocide, we forget, to tell the story of them before this awful, murder was happened. So if you feel comfortable, if you would want, how would you, because his friends speak here about how Alan was in school and how he was a friend and how supportive he was to them.
Yes.
And so, and you mentioned Little League and his education and what his dreams were. If you feel comfortable sharing, how would you like people to remember, the son that Alan Blueford was for you?
I would like people to remember that it's important to make a stand in the community, so that we don't just accept their lies, and we have to end the racial profiling. He was judged by the color of his skin. It's the only reason why he was stopped in the first place. He was supposed to go to a different call. So I want his name to live on through change. What I want to change is stop and frisk. What I want to change is racial profiling. What I want to change is the fact that you don't have a communication with the community. You go there already thinking to kill our youth. You already have in your mind that you're going to do something and take someone's life because you've gone too far. I want the community officials of Oakland to wake up and hire the people to staff the police department, the correct people, the people that really want to do the job and take the oath serious to protect and serve, not and shoot to kill.
And can you speak a little bit about Officer Masso? What happened, and where is he now?
Officer Masso is still a member of the police department. He does suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder.
Was he ever charged with anything?
He was charged. He had a suit, and with the city of Oakland, Officer Massel and the city knows what happened, and that's all I want to say about that.
Okay.
Now, Oscar Grant, which also took place in Oakland, and his murderer, the police was the first police to be indicted with murder. Is that what I heard? On this yesterday.
Yes.
Yes. And so now, so this is the first time in history. But then again, we know that every 23 hours a black man is killed, and that Oakland Oakland PD is known for a very brutal history. Do you know other stories, like other campaigns right now in Oakland that might need more leverage, more of people falling victim to police brutality and murders by the police?
There's a lot of families that have experienced police brutality in Oakland, and there's a lot of families since Alan's death that has stood up and stood up and found out their details themselves and are coming against, and because everybody supports one another, we all could learn from each family. So it's a lot of families, but what I'm proud of are the families that are standing up against this kind of genocide against our children.
Thank you for coming to this conference, and thank you for sharing this story, and thank you for, at the workshop yesterday, I was really moved by just the non-compromising tone of your voice, and just it was really empowering and beautiful to hear, and I just admire your strength, and I thank you for coming and still carrying the story and not giving up and still moving.
And thank you for having me. And one of the best things about this conference is there's a lot of youth, there's a lot of young people like yourselves that are learning and getting the message out and keeping the fight going, and that's what brings my heart joy. So thank you for having me, and if you ever need anything, I'm here for you, and if you're ever in the Bay Area, stop by and see us at the Jeralyn Blueford Center for Justice.
And where can we find you online? Where can we find you on?
My Twitter handle is at Mama Blueford, and that's MommaBlueford. You can follow Alan on Facebook, Jeralyn Blueford, and also like us on Facebook at the Jeralyn Blueford Center for Justice, or follow us on Twitter at ABC4Justice.